Hi Beverly. Yeah, I've got your email to the left of me and just reading through it. Okay, I'm just going to meditate on your issue. Lovely day yesterday, wasn't it? I spent some time down the beach. I caught the sun a bit. Amazing. Okay, just going to meditate. What I'll do a 6-card general reading to start off with and just see where we are. May pull in other things as well, which happens sort of quite often. So other sort of issues going on in your life at the moment. But my main focus will be around your email. Let's take 6 cards. Let's see what we get. Okay, first 3 cards deal with the past or things on a kind of inner level. Okay, we're going back months, I feel, with these cards, or things which are kind of deep within. One of the two. Okay, well I get the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Swords. I just feel I'm being taken back. The 10 of Cups is very much about a happy time for you. It was like where everything was fine kind of emotionally. It is, if you like, the card of kind of happiness around emotions and relationships, and also with the 10 of Pentacles as well. It talks about you being in a very kind of secure kind of situation, very sort of stable. I'll show those 2 cards, tens. Okay, so there's a sense of kind of moving on from this. Perhaps things didn't sort of work out the way which you wanted them to. Tens, as I said, always say break down to a 1, which is about sort of new beginnings. So there's kind of sort of lessons kind of learned, whoops, which help to move you forward. Sorry, I just dropped this one on the floor. Okay, so there's a sense of, I don't know, feeling sort of let down as well. Things not going sort of as you expected them to go. 4 of Swords very much indicates the sort of battles which you've been through. If you have a look, it shows a person lying down with 3 swords pointing down. Swords, I feel, indicate sort of battles, the frustrations, kind of which you went through, and there was this, and I feel this in relation or in regards to past relationships and other issues which were going on at the time. The swords, as I said, are very intrusive the way they're pointing down, so a lot of hurts there also with the card, but also a sense that you did manage to kind of step back, take a rest, as shown by the person lying down. And there's also healing as well with this card, because you've got a sword in a non-intrusive position there beneath the body, which indicates the sort of healing which was taken on. So a rest or some kind of change, but you kind of sort of took yourself away from that situation and moved on. Okay, let's look at the present time. Okay, I get all around the sort of last few weeks or the next few weeks, but kind of around this time really. We're not talking months. I'm sure you'll be able to identify with the cards. The Moon card, first of all, talks about a lot of sort of trouble, a lot of sort of jealousy going on around you at the moment. There's a feeling of things sort of being very sort of unsettled. And with this, I get a woman. I do feel this relates to yourself with the Queen of Cups. It gives me someone who's very much in touch with their feelings. Someone who's very sort of kind, gentle, and also motherly as well. Someone who's very mature in their ways. And you know, as I said, with that, I get the Moon card. It does actually show a creature just crawling out of water. So there's a sense of kind of drowning in emotions, which with the situation which has sort of been going on around you. At the moment, the path is winding, which indicates that there's still some things to kind of go through. Okay, it's not going to be a sort of bowl of cherries. There's still going to be situations and issues which need to be experienced. Okay, and still you got a wolf on either side sort of howling. So you know, I get a lot around the mind here with upsets and things playing on your mind which are going on around you at the moment. Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying because of what's going on, then it's quite very understandable that you do actually sort of feel that way, and kind of trying to sort of deal with things as well to sort of move things forward. Happens to me a lot. Someone upsets me, but at the end of the day I'm upsetting myself, I know that, but they kind of sort of trigger it off. But also at the same time, the things need to be kind of sort of dealt with as well, because by dealing with the things, it can also help to sort of settle things down. So it's a kind of sort of two-way sort of show here. Final card here. I don't know, it gives me another woman, okay. I don't know whether it's another side of you or someone around the situation, but it gives me someone who's, it's a Queen of Wands, okay. It gives you someone who's very creative, someone who can be quite sort of fiery at times, someone I would say who knows their own mind. They can have psychic powers, extremely good sort of intuition. But I just get a lot of sort of heat with this card, so a lot of things kind of being stirred up as I got sort of from the moon card. But the Queen of Wands in conjunction with that does indicate sort of being very sort of fiery, things sort of being stirred up, and I don't know, I just get a lot of strong emotions, you know, the moon card especially. We get two queens here, which, you know, as I said, can be two different people or two sides of the same person. And we get two tens earlier on, which talks about something in the past kind of coming to an end and then you sort of moving on. Okay, let's have a look again. I'll put the cards back in. Let's see if we get things a bit deeper around the situation. Again, I'll do the same reading. We'll just see what we get. See if we can get any more insights. Right. Okay. The Eight of Swords, Page of Cups, Knight of Wands. I just feel this is bringing me sort of slightly closer, giving me a closer kind of closer insight into kind of what's going on sort of around you. I know it's more about sort of feelings which I pick up rather than facts, but sometimes when I read the cards, I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying. Okay, so we get the Eight of Swords. It shows women tied up, blindfolded, and there's 8 swords in the ground. Okay, so there's a sense of you feeling sort of trapped. The swords do appear like the sort of bars to a prison, tied up. Okay, so there's a lot of kind of restriction, thoughts kind of going on, but I feel this in regards to kind of sort of what's going on with you at the moment. So there's a feeling that you kind of need answers, okay, and without the answers you're going to kind of stay in the same place. There's a feeling that, you know, once you get these answers then you'll be able to sort of move forward. There is actually shown a gap between two of the swords at the back, okay, the rope and the blindfold as well. So the blindfold is very much not being able to see a way forward. The rope is very much like being restricted. Just like the swords on the ground appear like the sort of bars to a prison, but the rope is quite sort of loose, and that kind of gives a feeling that things are starting to unwind, things are starting to feel like being revealed, which will help to sort of move you forward. There is a vast sea as well. You're kind of facing away from that at the moment, but it kind of shows that once things are kind of resolved, then there is sort of so much out there for you. Sea can come across on many different levels. It can talk about a deep love, it can talk about opportunities, sea of opportunities. So water is a very, you know, it can have many different sides to it, and I mean many different things, but certainly an improvement in many areas of your life once this has been resolved. Page of Cups comes through as well, and this gives me a young person. I mean, when I say young, it, you know, it could be someone young physically, perhaps early 20s or something, or around that age, or it can also give me someone who's a bit older, but sort of like a younger spirit. And also with the card, there's a sense of them, the holding a cup with a fish poking its head out of, and there's a sense of, let me show that to you. I mean, with that I get a fish out of water. That's kind of what I get given with this card usually, and I'm being given it again, so it's a sense of them being in a position which they haven't sort of been in before, and it's a new experience to them. There is a lot of focus on sort of just one thing rather than the whole, because behind the person, like the card which was for you, the person is actually facing away from the sea. So there's a sense of things sort of being very sort of restricted for them, and kind of feeling it's not kind of sort of go anywhere. It's kind of, you know, I just feel like a sort of flash in the pan with that. Okay, Knight of Wands. Again, it's a person card, and I get another person here. Not, again, can be older. Page is usually a female, Knight's generally a male, even though it's not sort of stuck in stone that, but that's generally what I kind of give. But if you can take a male for a female or a female for a male, that's fine as well. It depends on the sort of energy as well. Okay, well, the Knight, that gives me someone else. Again, someone younger, or, you know, if not younger, then it will certainly, I'll say older than the Page. Knights are generally in the next stage. It goes Page, Knights, you know, and then it goes to like the you know, the Queen and the King. So maybe older. If not, then it's a very sort of spiritual thing. You know, as far as sort of development goes, it could be younger or older spiritually. So again, not stuck in stone, but again, that's what I feel. Okay, so someone perhaps a bit older, a male. I say immature, they're not as mature as a queen or a king, but they're again perhaps more mature than a page who's just starting out. Okay. And with the page we also get some kind of news as well. The pages are sort of very news, about news, and some news around emotions. So I get that with the page as well. It is a card of news, and cups about emotions, so news around emotions, around love, relationships, something like that. And then back to the Knight again, and it gives me a male, someone who's, I'd say, not as mature as perhaps the Queen or King, but more mature than the Page. Someone who can be, you've got a red cap, a red feather on their cap, hot-headed. Okay, they can be rather hot-headed at times. Okay, generally the more mature type is creative or spiritual, but there's a sense of them being a bit sort of wayward, and yes, they have elements where they can be quite spiritual and creative, but other times when they're not, they're still, if you like, still developing. They're not in their sort of Queen or sort of King stage. And again, the horse is shown to turn. Okay, it's starting to turn, if you can see that, which talks about some kind of change or some kind of turn in the situation. There's very much a sense that there's been some change recently. You know, it's completely changed course or changed direction. Maybe something's been revealed to you. And again, I'm being drawn to the page with the fish poking its head out of water, and about things sort of being revealed. And there's a sense of you needing to trust your intuition and what's kind of been going on around you, to be able to kind of move this forward and to be able to resolve the situation. Okay, alright, I think that's all I get from those. So let's look at the next two. Okay, we get another people card. Okay, we get the Page of Swords, and again I get, the pages are very much the start, aren't they? Page, Knights, Queens, Kings, and again that gives me, I mean, a page is generally about women or female energy. Swords are very much about the mind, so it kind of gives me someone who's kind of sort of wayward in their thinking, not very sort of sharp or precise like the Queen or the King would be, who are sort of very developed, and they can be like solicitors or someone who sort of uses their mind. So someone who isn't developed in their mind, they're kind of just learning things. And it could be, again, it could be the same side, sorry, a different side of the same person. Like I get two sides of the same coin. You know, that's a possibility. Yeah, and really that's what I get with that card. And there's also a sense of a release of emotions as well around all of this. It's like things being revealed. I get the Ace of Cups here. Okay, it can talk about a new stage within a relationship or a new phase within a relationship, but also I get about tears being released. It shows a cup which is overflowing with water. Okay, so again, all very much points to things being revealed, things coming to the surface, and of course once things come to the surface, then they're a lot easier to kind of sort of deal with and kind of move on from there. Once you kind of have a clear picture of what's going on, which I feel is becoming becoming apparent, you know, with the fish poking its head out, with the knight turning on its horse, changing course, with the Ace of Cups, with the water coming out of the cup and going into a, you know, a vast sea. There's an awful lot of sort of release here, okay, where earlier on the first card you got was the Eight of Swords, which was very restricted, which I felt was more kind of in the past. There's a kind of sense of kind of moving on from that. Things have kind of opened up, and I get a lot of opening up with the Page of Swords as well. It's a very mind card as well. Pages are very much about the mind, so it could also be about news as well. We had news about emotions or about relationship with the Page of Cups, and there's also news here, okay, which is something about thoughts or the mind, some kind of situation which is very sort of psychological, I'd say, rather than kind of emotional. Okay, let's look at the last card here. Let's see what we get. So I'm just amazed how many people cards we're getting today. Okay, we got the Page of Cups, we got the Knight of Wands, we got the Page of Swords, we got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, again, it gives me a kind of younger energy. It gives me someone who can be sort of rather materialistic, because we're dealing with Pentacles here. Someone who likes sort of earthly sort of pleasures. Again, it's not a refined version such as the King or the Queen, okay? But more than anything, it kind of points to a stability for this person. As I said, I get male energy, someone who can be younger than you, or certainly younger in far as sort of development goes, okay, especially around the sort of physical plane. But also on another level, the card is sort of coming across, and this horse very much shows us sort of stability. Okay, so things will kind of sort of settle down. If you have a look at the card, unlike the Knight of Wands, that's turning. Okay, this card is very much stopped. Okay, I know knights are about movement, but this one in particular is about lack of movement. So it's still about movement, but lack of movement, if you like. So there's a sense of sort of more stability coming your way. I feel coming your way, actually. Yeah, there's a sense that things will kind of settle down, things will be revealed, and then things are going to settle down for you. So I have a few minutes left. I'll just take another. I'll just put these back in and shuffle. Let's take another 3 cards and see if we get anything else just to finish off. As I said, we get a lot of people. So there seems to be a lot of people involved around the situation. But as I said, there can sometimes be different sides of the same coin, different sides of the same person. And a lot of them also relate to yourself, but more so the message, like the stability on the last card, rather than the person. So it can also give you a message as well. So I can take it on many different levels, but I think they all apply. It's not like this may mean something, that may mean something. I sense that things should apply on all the levels. Oops. So one just jumped out of the pack. I'll take that one. Right, let's have a look, see what we get. Okay, that's interesting. Another people card. Surprise, surprise. Okay, I get 10 of Swords. Shows a person on a beach with 10 swords piercing their back. End of a relationship or end of a situation. Okay, it's a sense that things will come to an end. Okay, so whatever has been going on, things are going to end. Okay, and it's like that's it. It's final. You know. There is a black sky in the background at the top, which indicates depression, a sort of dark time which this has caused. But there is light beneath this darkness, okay, which indicates that the light will replace, the darkness, and it will bring happier times, and things will become more settled for you. Okay, so yeah, it's like final. That's it. I get a man around this King of Swords. As I said, kings are very much more about this mature type, but only within the suit. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're mature and they're going to be kind and very emotional. I mean, that would be more about cups. But King of Swords gives me someone who is, say, mature, is an older, someone who is, I would say, rules with their mind rather than their heart. They can have a job where they use their mind. Very often they can be like a solicitor or something, but certainly where they use their mind rather than their hands. Okay, so it can indicate office work or something like that, using a computer, using their mind to kind of sort of change things. I can see this person's been very cold as well, very collective, very calculating, and also very sharp as well. And I just feel they have been around this kind of situation. And then the very last card you get, Bev, is the card of victory. Okay, you get the Six of Wands. So there's a sense of, you know, everything which has been happening, everything which is happening is going to come to a head. And this card shows a soldier on a horse riding through a village holding a victory stick. Okay, it's a card of victory, the card of triumph. So the person is sat very high on the horse, so you'll come out on top in the end. Okay, everything is leading to sort of victory here for you. And that concludes your reading. Thank you.